Hey guys, welcome to this week's show. I have with me this week, as always, Corey, and a surprise guest here. Well, I guess it's not a surprise, because he told everyone today that he was going to kind of be involved here. So we have Kyle. Welcome to the show, buddy. Long time.
Hey, pleasure to be here, Shane.
Yeah. Oh, we had a big week last week, guys, including a big matchup between me and Kyle here. But we'll talk about it in a second. We're not going to do, just so you guys get a heads up, we're not going to talk about the prediction results, even though, you know what, last week was poor participation anyway. We had like 5 people. So let's get those picks in, guys, in a timely manner. I shouldn't have to baby you to get your picks in. If you don't want the $20, that's fine. I want it.
He's talking to you, hippie.
We're going to talk about, but we will talk about last week's results. We'll talk about the trades. We'll update on the standings. The standings are pretty intense. I don't know if everyone's paying attention. And we'll talk about this week's matchups as we roll the last week of the first round through here, the first circle through, right? So some repeat matchups coming next week, which will be nice as we can actually talk about the previous matchup. All right, let's talk about the first one here. Cherry picking daddy. I'm going to go to you first here, Kyle. I want you to tell me about your victory over the champion Team Ramrod.
So, I mean, my mentality going into the last 2 weeks, actually, because I had Neil the week before you, and I'm in a tough position, right? So I'm like, I need to win one of my 2 weeks, next 2 weeks, either Neil or Shane. And obviously Neil didn't happen for me. Neil's goalies were like on fire. Neil destroyed me. I didn't really have a chance. And like you guys mentioned, I lost Swayman. That's really hurt my team. But coming into this week, it was a must-win situation for me. And some things lined up for me favorably. Your team had less than 50 man games for some reason, and that was
a schedule for my team.
It was a huge plus for me. I had 62 to your 48. So I had a 14 man game advantage, even though I had Scary Terry out. I had Buck from St. Louis out. I had a goalie out. I still had 62 for some reason. It must have been like all my players must have like 4 games that week. I don't know.
Well, you have like a lot of Predators, and they had a big schedule last week. So
yeah.
Jerry had 4 wins for you.
Oh, yeah.
Pittsburgh had 4 games last week.
It was ridiculous because, I mean, our goalies were awesome last week between me, Shane and I. Like we both pulled off 5 wins. And it was close going into Sunday. I wasn't sure what way it was going to go. I thought it was going to end up a tie, but Shane's players didn't show up Sunday really. So
no, they did not. I had like 5 guys going in the last 2 games. I lost by 2 shots and 3 hits, something like that, or 3 hits and 2 shots. Like that could have got me the win. Like that's how close it was. But my boys, all known to shoot and some to hit, and none of them did either.
No, they did nothing, man. That guy I picked up from New Jersey was like a wrecking crew, but he's the only one who played.
He showed up. He got his big chance in the big leagues here, and
yeah.
I'll keep my eye on him.
I feel fortunate to come away with the win. Some things came out in my favor, and again, I'm going to slay the top of the division any chance I get.
What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, that was a big matchup for both of you. Both of you guys came out to play. I'm happy to see you get the win, Kyle, especially since you didn't get to use Jenner on Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the other thing too.
We'll talk about that later. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
I was loving it.
Almost cost me the week.
Next matchup we have here, it's Suck My Ojik, who defeated the somewhat active Derek 12-3. What do you think of this one, Kyle?
Neil taking it to Derek. Gotta love it. I mean, Neil's got solid goaltending, solid players. Derek's not even playing at this point. Let's be real. Derek's got a good team, but for whatever reason, he's not playing. Whatever. But I strongly feel that I said this earlier in the season. If there's gonna be a team that repeats, I feel like it's gonna be Neil. I feel Neil has a very strong team, and he continues to prove it week after week. And I'm kind of expecting him to take over first overall in the league in the upcoming weeks.
That still hurts me, Kyle. Like Ramrod is
wounds
defending
you
champion.
deeply.
I'm still holding the championship. You're talking about me not repeating.
Well, you never know. Injuries and matchups, anything can happen.
Yeah, matchups made a big difference last year. So,
yeah.
What do you think, Corey?
I mean, I agree with Kyle's logic. Neil beat him, he beat you, so it makes sense, right? But no, this is a Derek's team actually showed up. His goalie's not so much because, as we know, they're all hurt and he doesn't really have many. But his players
They're all
are
back now. Well, Price isn't, but the others are back.
But no, Neil had an easy win. I don't think we're surprised by that one.
What do you think of Daltrey? Did y'all try the beef defeating Clefbaum 12-2? What do you think, Kyle?
Man, Daltrey's a force this year. I don't feel like we talk enough about Daltrey in this league and the team that he has here. He pulled out an insane amount of goals, a decent amount of assists. He's doing well in the categories across the board. Clefbaum actually had a decent week, but Daltrey just killed it, man. And this is a guy, who's going to do some damage in the playoffs for sure. It's not somebody I want to be matched up against. He's got like Larkin in Detroit got 3 goals last week. Like his whole team is producing.
I don't mind playing in the playoffs, Daltrey. I assume you're going to set your matchup, your lineups here. So, what do you think, Corey?
Yeah, no, I agree. I didn't think Daltrey had a great team, and then they just turned on the Jets and really haven't stopped lately. I just saw McKinnon, I guess, is out. He left the game after the first, though, so I guess the health of the team will make a big difference. But no, good win for Daltrey. Kyle just getting slapped around here.
Big win in the tight second division here, right? So,
yep.
Whole Shaft was defeated by Captain Crunch 11-3. What do you think of that, Kyle?
Yeah, Captain Crunch, he's putting up grinder stats. His goalie showed up last week. He's another team that got 5 wins. A 928 save percentage. Matt Murray is looking like a good pickup. I considered picking up Matt Murray when he was briefly available on the market. And I'm like, it's Ottawa. I shouldn't say that because I'm an Ottawa fan, but Matt Murray had a pretty decent week. And then Husso is competing for that leading man role in St. Louis. That has big connotations. That hurts Sean, I think, right? Sean's one of those Bennington. Yeah.
He was saying last night his goalies have not been good.
Yeah, it's not a good situation for Sean. And that's something I want to talk about, like when we get to the standings as well.
Yeah. Corey, what do you think of this?
That's a big win for Crunch. Nick's team didn't play the greatest, but you know what? Keep that standings in Division 2 a little bit tighter. I'm okay with that.
I'm all right with anyone below me losing. Like, I'm all right with that. Tie here. Charlie Brown to get off my grass. 7-7 tie. What happened here, Kyle?
I didn't follow this too closely last week, but who came even on this one? Was it Dan who caught up, or was it was Dan?
Yeah,
Dan,
he got a fighting major to take it.
Oh no!
So like Sean didn't have a chance with he needed like a double minor to catch him.
He was up by 2 pims, I think, and then Buddy got a 5.
Wow. Yeah, that's.
I'm not going to tie
crazy.
you. I'm going to get you the win, I'm going to get you the tie.
Like when I played Dan earlier in the year, I think he was my second week. I'm playing him again in a few weeks here. He pulled a come from behind victory on Sunday on me. So I feel for you, Sean.
What do you think, Corey?
No, that's a big point for Dan. I think it would have been 3 losses in a row if he didn't get that point. So it's good on him to keep that space to stay in the playoffs pretty comfortably. And it's a big point to take away from Sean.
Agreed. All right, let's talk about the Braden bye week here. Sauce pass. So Corey got the honors this week, defeating him 9-6. What do you think, Kyle?
Well, this is significant because, as you know, we're unveiling a certain item here. and this solidly put Braden in last place. So, this is a very significant week, and that kind of took Corey out of, because I think you were last place last week, weren't you,
He
Corey?
was, yeah.
Yeah. So that's good for you, Corey. In all honesty, that's a good solid win, convincing win as well.
Big and solid, buddy. Big and solid.
Yeah. And veiny.
Corey, what do you think about that matchup here? Tell me about your match.
Yeah, it was close. My goalies outplayed him, and that got me the win. And I haven't been able to say that since I traded him Campbell. And Campbell didn't show up, so I just want to hopefully keep the wins coming.
It's fair. Please don't feed the goalie. Picks up a win against the never-ending rebuild. What you tell 7-5 here? What you tell me about this, Kyle?
Well, this is I just don't understand why Travis sold, man. He had the most solid team, like once it was like going, man. And Travis could be a favorite. Could have been was a favorite to win this year, I think. And
he was up there.
Yeah, for sure. Like he was scaring the piss out of me. I'm like, man, Travis is going. I'm selling because my season's over now. There's nobody stopping the Travis train. But we all know who always stops the Travis train. It's Travis. Man, like I don't care. Like I'm going in there if I have shit because you never know what's going to happen. Like Nick Spawn is saying I have a shitty team, and he's not necessarily wrong in that. I mean, Travis is a good team, and he folds, and then this is the result. He folds, and then he loses to Tyler.
He didn't like his odds, right? He doesn't think that he thinks his team can win, but can he pass leapfrog all the other teams? So. But not when they added the extra 2 weeks, it kind of fucked him, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
He sold a little early.
He can still
I think so.
in.
He can still get in.
He did lose a lot of pieces, but he got good return on all of them.
Yeah. And he's set up good for next year.
To find someone willing to sell those pieces now, though.
Yeah. And there'll be people in about 3 weeks there by the time trade deadline. Yeah. What'd you think of this matchup, Corey?
Yeah, it's a big loss for him.
Yeah,
it's a week you need to win because it's not going to get easier.
No, it's definitely not. It's not going to get easier than that.
His team did not show up, so I mean,
he just didn't want Tyler to get the trophy.
Yeah,
it's a gentleman right there. Last matchup from last week: Patch-Rated Rumble versus Seven on the Ice. These guys were tied for 8th last week. Patch is kind of pulling through here and solidifying 8th. Tell me about this, Kyle.
Yeah, there's no real surprise here. Patch has put solid numbers across the board, and he got the win. Mark put decent numbers, but and I tell you, like, I had the same talk with Nick O'Brien earlier, because when he said he was selling, he was playing me that week, and I tried to get his Colorado boys. I was trying to get him to sell them to me. I'm like, I don't understand why you're selling, man. You have a good team. And he sold a couple pieces, but he didn't really sell a lot. And then he's kind of hung in there. But, I strongly feel that Patches here is a dark horse. He is 100% making the playoffs. And he has a good team, and he's going to be dangerous. He's going to be dangerous, especially because, if he finishes, 7th or 8th, he's going to be a handful for whoever's in first place.
He can do some damage.
Absolutely.
I like his roster. I'm with you on that. I talked to him when he was trying to trade away his Dallas Stars guys. Like, why are you doing this? Like, why?
Yeah.
You think, Corey?
If you're active on free agency, you can get away with selling pieces early like that, right?
Yeah.
You've seen the guys getting dumped, turning around. Like Barzal has done well for you, Kyle, since you've gotten him on free agency. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Reinhardt, it's gold.
Yeah.
I see a few of my pieces over on your team, Shane.
Don't drop him.
Yeah, man, he did nothing for me for 2.5 years, and I'm just like, I'm done holding. And as soon as I drop him, that's obviously when he starts to like be a superstar.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at these standings, guys. Let's talk about Division 1 here. Division 1, you have 2 guys pretty much at the top. Like they're pretty much. Well, I can't say that they're locked in because things can go wrong.
I'd say they're locked in.
Yeah.
They have a high percentage of making it, but I wouldn't say they're locked in because if they go on a big losing streak, it's not that hard to believe that they might get passed by a guy who's like 5 and 7 points behind.
I mean,
Yeah.
he has to have everybody in between that catch him as well, though. And
Well,
there's a lot
yeah,
of people in between, right?
there's a lot in between, but even
Yeah.
15, like it's
The thing
likely
is-
that they're making it, but I don't think they're a lock yet. But I don't think they're missing the playoffs either.
So this is the thing, like matchups matter. And if you look at who they play in the second half of the season, there's uneven schedules. Captain Crunch is playing 1, 2, 3, 4 of his 8 games are non-playoff teams, so he's pretty much a lock in there, I think. And Neil's pretty much the same thing. Like who does he have here?
Must be nice.
Neil's got a tough schedule. Neil has a tough schedule. So if anybody drops, it might be Neil a bit, but I still think Neil's going to make it.
He's going to make the playoffs, I think. But
yeah,
I'm not saying it's not impossible that he falls out.
Not impossible. Very unlikely though. Yeah, Neil has a tough schedule for sure.
We got everyone else though. You got like Dan at 17 points. Patches holding down 8th with 15 points. You're just on the outside at 9th here with 14 points, and then the bottom of the division. Well,
so
9.
I mean, I took a detailed look at who's playing who, and I'm going to tell you that Patches 100% is going to be in the playoffs. He's got the easiest schedule out of everybody.
Got a favorable schedule.
He's got a favorable schedule. He plays Tyler, Derek, Braden. He plays me. He plays Corey. He plays Travis. The only playoff teams he's playing is Captain Crunch and Neil. The rest of it is easy street for him. So you're going to see Patches take a run. You might see him end up being 4th or 5th, barring some complete meltdown, and he loses to non-playoff teams, which can happen for sure. You can't count on that. I think he has a pretty easy road. He's going to make the playoffs. Me, on the other hand, I got like the next few weeks, I got Captain Crunch, Get Off My Grass, Charlie Brown's, Whole Shaft, Patch Ready to Rumble. Like those are my opponents.
That's easy.
Yeah, no big deal. And then I got Braden, I got Tyler, and then I got someone on the ice who is not easy. He's out of the playoffs, but he still has a very, very good, solid team. And he does have an outside chance of making it in, but even he has a pretty difficult road.
Yeah. Everyone has I find there's a good half of the league was just has a really tough schedule coming up, and a lot of teams are probably going to give and take wins here, right? So
yeah, exactly.
But it's hard. But then also, when you're winning, you're taking down the teams that are ahead of you if you're playing the tough teams.
Yeah, so it's like a double swing.
I know I'm going to be playing Nick. I'm playing Shane. I'm playing Sean come second round. I'm quite certain, at least. And those are the teams I want to play because that's how I make up my ground.
Yeah.
Guys, still competing.
You got to try.
Yeah, exactly.
Draft lottery. There's nothing to lose.
Yeah,
no, that's it.
Nope.
Division 2 here. It's a little bit different from Division 1. Division 2, we have me and who leads the division with 17 points. We have Charlie Browns, who sits in 7th, who's 1 point behind. So Daltrey, Nick, and Sean all 1 point behind here for the division lead.
So the one thing I want to point out here, the Charlie Browns, I say are in danger of falling out of the playoff contention. And they're in danger of falling out to me, but I say I probably have the worst odds of getting into 8th. But don't be surprised if Charlie Browns drops out of contention. He has a really tough schedule. You got the Whole Shaft. He's got Travis, but then he's got 7 on the ice who isn't. You're not going to walk over him. He's got me again. And he's got Corey, but he finishes out the season 3 weeks in a row. He's got Neil, then Shane, then Daltrey to finish out the season. Those are going to be 3 tough weeks for him. And it might determine if he makes the playoffs or not.
I'd like to argue while we're talking about this that I have probably one of the toughest schedules at the end of the season.
You do, but your next 5 weeks are easy. I shouldn't
Well,
say
I don't
easy.
know. I should have had an easy win last week. And
Yeah,
I had a good record coming out of my tough schedule. And then my record's kind of 50-50 now coming out of what was supposed to be the easy part.
but I mean, like next week, you got Derek.
Yeah.
You did lose to Derek earlier in the season, mind you. You got Tyler, then you got Corey, then you got Travis. But then the hell part of your schedule starts.
That's it. That's the part I'm talking about.
Yeah. Then you got Neil, you got Domo, you got Sean, then you got the whole shaft. So, you're going to be finishing the regular season in you're going to be battling it out.
Yeah. I'm hoping to hold on.
Yeah.
I could easily fall out of the playoffs, right? I'm only 2 points up. So.
Yeah. I feel like, the next 4, I mean, you got Clefbaum this week. That you should win this week. Like if you could easily win 5 games in a row. I think.
And I could be pretty safe. Yeah.
Yeah. If you lose the next 3 or 4 going into the playoffs, whatever,
Yeah, you've been there.
You've been there. Like last year, you lost 3 in a row before we win the playoffs.
4, 3, 4.
4.
It was 4.
Yeah, I lost 4 in a row. Do we need to reference the shirt?
Yeah, maybe. Let's get the shirt.
No, it was 4 in a row, and then then I just won the last 3. So.
The 3 that matter.
Division 2 is so tight though, and even on the outside, right? You got 7 at 13. Travis only 3 points out at 12. You and Derek, Corey, are right there, 5 points out. It's not impossible. You just need some good fortune here, and your team to show up, right?
Yeah, like Simmons not out. His schedule's decent. If he can pull 1 or 2 upsets, he's right in there.
I'm trying to get to this one tab. All right, let's talk about some trades here. I don't think there was a whole lot, but there was some, right? So first trade, let's go to Corey for this one because it involves him. He received Francouz and an 11th, and he traded Murray and a 12th to Captain Crunch here. So what happened here?
He just sent me an offer out of the blue, and I was okay with the pickup grade. And I mean, looking back now, both the goalies have done pretty well. Francouz has been killing it for Colorado. Murray's had a couple bad games, but little trade, nothing big.
What do you think, huh?
Yeah, it's a pretty minor trade. Matt Murray's paying dividends for Captain Crunch right now, I think. So yeah, it's working out for him.
Gets them while they're hot, then he moves on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Not a big deal. Like both goalies are playing well. So it's like kind of moot. Like it was an even trade, really.
Yeah.
Just what team do you prefer to have the goalie for? Next deal here, Captain Crunch received Letang and a 15th from Braden for Bouchard and a 7th. What do you think of this, Kyle?
Yeah, it's a good move by Braden. Gets a draft pick. It's going to favor him for next year. Letang, good player. Should add to Captain Crunch's team, and yeah,
he's having a good season.
Yeah,
he is. Yeah.
What do you think, Corey?
And I think it's a good trade for both of them. It's a lot to pay for Letang. But like I said, he's killing it. He's healthy right now, so that's what matters. If he's healthy, it's a great trade. If he gets injured, it sucks.
He just always gets injured.
Bouchard's not a bad player to get back the other way either. He's been doing really well for them. So
I think he's been moved.
Braden came out ahead on that one. Yeah, he did get moved.
Yeah. I traded for him.
I guess we'll come to that.
Yeah.
Braden's still active. Good for him. Receiving Sergachev and an 8 from Travis for Trocheck and a 17th. So Travis started to spend a little of his riches when he realized he probably still has a chance to get in. Why don't you tell me about this one, Corey?
I think it's a good price to get for Trocheck. He's a solid player. Stats across the board. He's doing well in Carolina too, and it's a good trade for both of them. It's not going to hurt Travis to pick him up. He still has 3 weeks to move him if he feels the want to, right? So
Yeah, I think you might keep him. Trocheck's really good everywhere, so all around.
yeah,
So.
he is. Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah, I
What do you
agree
think,
with you
Kyle?
guys.
I feel like
Yeah,
an eighth is a good price.
I completely agree with you guys. This is a good trade both ways for sure. And Travis is getting a good player that he can potentially keep at a decent price. Braden's building up his team for next year. I think it's good.
Right. Kyle, why don't you tell me about this trade? The Champion, Team Ramrod, traded Tyson Berry a 9th and a 12th to Clefbaum for Braden Shen an 11th and a 14th.
Yeah, I mean, it's decent. If Braden Shen stays healthy and continues to play, this might be a big payoff for you. I think maybe you overpaid a little bit, but it could pay off big dividends for you. So we'll see how it plays out.
Before I go to court, I'm going to tell you why I don't think I overpaid. The asking price was an 8th. I didn't have an 8th. And this 11th for 12th bullshit, that means nothing. So essentially it's like a 9th for a 14th. That's why I thought it was worth it. If there was a bigger pick separation on the second picks, maybe. But
okay, yeah. No, you know what? I agree with you. And I'm very much my train of thought is that 6th through 9th pick, maybe 10th are good. The rest of it, they're waiver wire.
Yeah. So an 11th for a 12 means
or a
nothing.
gem like Chris Kreider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not next year, probably. So what do you think of this deal, Corey?
I think it's a good deal for you. I think Shen's been playing well now that he's been back. As long as he stays healthy, that's a massive pickup for somebody who didn't really have many draft picks to use. So
that's it.
He's very well rounded. So
I have no more picks left, guys, unless you like 12s and 13s. Then come see them. I'm not going to get the value I want. So
a lot of room for improvement.
Our boy Artem's up on the move again here. Captain Crunch moving him after acquiring him last week with an 8th over to Clefbaum here for Vejmelka and a 13th. What do you think of this one, Corey?
It's a good trade. I mean, we know his goalie situation wasn't great. Picking up Murray, now picking up another team that's get scored against a lot. He's going to get his starts at least, get some saves, but his goalie stats are going to suffer for that. I don't think it was too much to spend. I think it's a great price for him, but it's a quality coming back. That's why it's that price.
Yeah. What do you think, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, he needs the goalies, right? So it's gonna pay off for him. He's always moving his stuff around, and it seems to work out for him. So who am I to say, this is a bad deal for him? He's killing it.
I'd rather lose with a consistent team than not knowing what I'm going to have in my lineup from week to week and then but be dominated. Because at the end of the day, what are you going to have when it comes playoff time? I don't know. I'm curious to see. What he has when it comes down to playoffs.
Yeah. No, it's he's just unbelievable. He's trading away so much. He's got so many picks for next year.
He does.
He's got so many picks for next year, and he's still dominating out here despite selling what I think are key pieces on his team. Clearly, I'm wrong. So who knows? Let's see what happens, man.
Next trade, Kyle. Why don't you tell me about this one first here? You got never-ending rebuild, picking up Josh Anderson, a guy who he dropped earlier this year. Apparently, he was injured though. So, and a 14th to Hockey Balboa for Lomberg and an 11th. What do you think of this?
Honestly, I don't know who these guys are. I've never heard of Lomberg before.
You don't know Josh Anderson though?
Yeah,
no, not even Josh Anderson, man.
Played on Columbus, big power forward.
Oh, okay. He's a grinder, eh?
Yeah, he played well for them in the playoffs. He played really well.
Okay. Oh, he's getting some grind out of it.
He has a flow.
Yeah. You know what? I don't really know enough about either one of these players to really comment on this one.
That's fair. What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, it's not a big trade. Not a pickup grade either way. I think they both came away happy off that one.
Yeah. Whole shaft traded Michael DiPietro, picked them up and traded him with a 16th to the never-ending rebuild. Loves his Vancouver goalies, that guy. For Martin Jones and a 14th. What do you think of this one, Corey?
It's just so funny. He's
Yeah.
made so many goalie trades. Like, settle down. Like, you had 3 starters and you're still making this many moves. I just think it's so unnecessary.
Demko's out right now, so
Yeah, no, I get it, but he's not hurting for starts right now. Like, it wasn't.
It was a bit of a waste.
Did he need it to get his 3 starts? No.
No, I think he needed to compete though.
Yeah. What was hilarious about this, because I was watching this happen a bit, because you know, I think this is Saturday or Sunday. I was kind of looking at goalies, and DiPietro is the 5th string for Vancouver. The 5th string. They had to dig deep. Like, the first 4 guys weren't available, you know? And then, like, Nick was so on top of this that he picked up the 5th string goalie who was starting for Vancouver that night. He'll net his 2nd NHL game ever, and then trades that to Travis for a pick upgrade. I mean, that's amazing.
It's good management, right?
Yeah.
I know if he needed that to compete for the week, that's a big difference. That's not a big price to pay,
No.
as we know.
No, I mean, I make trades like this occasionally when you want to compete for the week, as we're going to see next.
Yep.
Yeah, let's talk about this one here. Kyle, I'll start with you. You traded Casey DeSmith and a 13th to Corey here for Boone Jenner and a 17th. And this was at it was like 6:30 p.m. on a Sunday night trying to get that game in. What are you telling me about this?
Yeah, so this is 5:30. So I'm like, I had a good lead on Shane. You know, I was watching Pittsburgh played at 1, and it was 2-0 for whoever Pittsburgh was playing against. I forget. And I'm like, fuck me. Like, Pittsburgh's going to blow this. But they came back and won. And that was big for me because, you know, it went from 7-4 to 8-4 because I tied Shane in wins at 5. You know, it was a bit of a tough week competing goalie-wise. And then I'm looking at the stats here. Shane has more players. Sam Bennett was a game-time decision. But I go and click on Sam Bennett, you know, during the day. And people are talking like, yeah, I talked to Sam Bennett's sister. He's playing tonight for sure.
They're always saying that stuff.
Yeah, people are saying that shit, man. I'm like, I'm taking that to heart though. He ended up playing, and then Shane still had pickup. So, you know, some of these categories were close, and so I'm sweating that. I'm like, Shane can pull off a tie here. You know, off chance he could win, but you know, a tie is a high probability. I need something. So I'm looking around at different players, and I like what Boone Jenner has to offer. And, you know, he can pad some of my stats I was worried about too. So, you know, I can keep him. So I made a trade offer. The thing is, like, and I forgot about this, is that I had Yari Nets. I knew Yari was starting, but I also had Smith in a goaltending position that day. So Smith played that day but he didn't really play. But I couldn't execute the trade that day because I had DeSmith play at 1:00. So then I made this trade for nothing in a sense, because it didn't help me out on Sunday at all. And that cost me 5 shots on goal, which I thought was just going to like wreck my week. But fortunately, Shane's players didn't show up.
What do you think of this, Corey? What do you think of this trade?
Yeah, it's a nice pickup grade for a guy that I traded away immediately. So
we do have 2 other trades, but they're part of next week or this week. So we're not going to talk about them. Fuck it.
the one's the same day. It's like an hour later, 16 minutes later.
That was today. It was.
Oh no! Oh, you know what? You approved the Jenner one on Monday morning. That's why.
Yeah, that's right. I couldn't approve it before.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Okay.
So we'll talk about these other 2 trades next week.
A bunch of guys who've been traded already this season. All 4 of them.
Yeah, DeSmith was offered back to me by Nick when he got a hold of him.
All right. So I think
Get over there.
no, I'm gonna have to.